Good afternoon, students. Welcome back to your political science class. In my last video, I have already discussed about the different fundamental rights that are guaranteed by the Constitution of India. We have also discussed about the differences between ordinary rights and fundamental rights. Okay, so today we are going to begin from NHRC. We are going to begin from NHRC. Okay, now before I come to NHRC, let me tell you that Supreme Court or our judiciary, it acts as a custodian of the fundamental right. What does it act as? It acts as custodian of the fundamental rights, or you can also say that they preserves our fundamental rights or they protects our fundamental rights. Now, if any cases arises regarding the violation of fundamental rights, we can directly go either to the State High Court or to the Supreme Court of India. Now, in that case, the Supreme Court uses its writ jurisdiction. It uses its writs jurisdiction, and then the Supreme Court solves the cases related to violation of fundamental right. Now, this writs can be of 5 types. First is quo warranto, second is mandamus, third is habeas corpus, fourth is certiorari, fifth is prohibition. These are the different kind of writs, okay, that are this writs are the power enjoyed by the Supreme Court and the State High Court, or you can say these are the power enjoyed by the judiciary. Okay, so what is NHRC? NHRC is another body that protects our fundamental rights. NHRC is known as National Human Rights Commission. Okay, it is known as National Human Rights Commission. It was established in the year 1993. Okay, it is chaired or it is headed also, you can say, by the Chief Justice or retired Chief Justice of the Supreme Court. Now, it is a body which prevents the violation of fundamental rights, or you can say it helps in protecting the human rights. It is the Human Rights Commission of India. Actually, students, this NHRC, it complements the Supreme Court or the State High Court. Okay, now apart from the Supreme Court or the State High Court, if any other body is there which helps you to protect your fundamental right or your human right, then that is this NHRC or National Human Rights Commission. Now, how do this NHRC works? Now, see students, this NHRC does not provide you justice. Okay, it just shows you the path to justice. Okay, if any person is unaware of the fact that if something happened or if some violation of fundamental rights takes place, what will that person do? Then this NHRC shows the person the correct way, that he or she is supposed to go to the police station or to the such and such High Court or Supreme Court. Okay, and if the local police station is not agreeing or not allowing you to file a case related to violation of your human right, then also this NHRC, they helps. Okay, they protest against the, such malpractices, and they helps you to file a case against the violation of that fundamental right. Okay, so this NHRC, they plays a very vital role in our country. Now, next comes your directive principles. So, what are directive principles? Directive principles, they are included in Part 4 of the Constitution. Where are they included? They are included in Part 4 of the Indian Constitution. Fundamental rights are included in Part 3, whereas directive principles are included in Part 4 of the Indian Constitution. Okay, they provide us social and economic justice. What do they provide us? They provide us social and economic justice, or you can also say that they provide us socio-economic justice. Okay, now what are the main goal or what are the main aim of this directive principles? To promote socio-economic and political justice. That is the first and foremost aim of this directive principle. Second is the directive principle, they works for common good. They works for common good. Okay. Not only that, they also helps the citizen to raise their standard of living. Okay, so this is the third goal. Next is they helps in promoting international peace. Okay, and also they believes in equality. Okay, they helps you to live in a harmonious way in a society or in a peaceful way. But one very important fact is there, they are not protected by any court of law. Like if your directive principles are harmed, you cannot go to any court. Okay, if your fundamental rights are violated, you can directly go to the Supreme Court also. But if your directive principles are hampered, you cannot go to any court of law. And they are mentioned in part 4 of the Constitution, whereas fundamental rights are mentioned in the part 3 of the Indian Constitution. Okay, now we are going to study the last topic, that is the difference between fundamental rights and directive principles. Okay, so let's begin with the difference between fundamental rights and your directive principle. Fundamental rights and directive principles. Okay, so what is the difference between fundamental right and directive principle? Fundamental rights are mentioned in part 3 of the Indian Constitution, whereas directive principles are mentioned in part 4 of the Indian Constitution. This is the first difference, okay, between fundamental rights and directive principle. Second is fundamental rights are enforceable. They are enforceable by court of law. They are non-enforceable. Okay. Next is this fundamental rights, they are fixed. They are fixed. Okay. Whereas this directive principles, they are much wider in nature. They are much wider in nature. Next is fundamental rights provides us civil liberties. They provides civil liberties, whereas directive principle provides us socio-economic and political justice. They provides us socio-economic and political justice. Okay, so let's do the difference once again. Okay, now fundamental rights are mentioned in the part 3 of Indian Constitution, whereas directive principles are there in part 4 of the Indian Constitution. Second is, fundamental rights are enforceable by the court of law. It means if your fundamental rights are violated, you can move on to the court. But this directive principles, they are non-enforceable. If your directive principles are violated, you cannot go to any court of law. Next is, this fundamental rights are fixed. You cannot change these fundamental rights. These are fixed. Okay. Only it can be changed or it can be suspended during the national emergency. Otherwise, it cannot be suspended. Next is, this directive principles are much wider in nature. There are only 6 fundamental rights, but there are lot amount of directive principles, as these directive principles are not guaranteed to you for that reason. Okay. Next is number 4. this fundamental rights, they provides you civil liberties, whereas directive principles, they provides you socio-economic and political justice. So this is the difference between directive principles and fundamental rights. Okay, so that's the end of the chapter, and I will be giving you question answers in PDF. Okay, thank you and have a nice day.